Peer pressure is nothing new, but is technology changing the ways teens are influenced? On today's episode of The Lunch Counter, we go inside the world of today's teen.
Do you think that kids are growing up too quickly these days? Why or why not?
I would say that, yes, on one hand, but then on the other hand, every generation has said that, right? So I don't really know, because the generation before me said that about me, you know? So now I'm saying that about the generation coming up. But I think that's a natural thing that people will do. They'll look at the generation and not realize that maybe they were thinking these things at such an early age, and now when they see other people, 12, 13, you know, thinking about whatever it may be or doing certain things, they think it's early, but maybe not. Maybe it's all perspective.
I think they are. I think it's the influence of Hollywood and all the glamour magazines and everything.
We build our lives today on the shoulders that have passed before us, so kids are likely to grow up faster than their parents, always.
Well, my dilemma is I don't know if you have this experience much, I don't know what your rules are at home for computer and TV exposure, but I'm pretty strict in my house, and I find that the kids don't want to come hang out at our house because I don't allow the computer to be on the whole time, or you know, I don't want people up watching movies till 2 in the morning, and then so I know when my son's going to other homes that that's what they're doing, and not always games that I agree with. You know, there are a lot of violent games out there that I wouldn't have in my house, and then plus they're getting all that extra computer time that I think as teens they should be hanging out and, I don't know, play Monopoly or something. Don't laugh. Don't you guys do that still?
For me personally, as a young woman, I never really liked video games. I know for my brother, I saw him playing all the shooting games and everything. That was never really appealing to me. And my parents were okay with it. They never really said much because they never really saw it take an effect on him. But for myself, I played with Barbie dolls and Polly Pockets and loved Mary-Kate and Ashley growing up. So it wasn't really an issue with the influences in a sense.
So then when girls came over to your house, you did girl things, and of course, quite often they're more of a gentle variety. So.
They were definitely a lot more gentle, tea parties and dress up and
or hanging out and talking about boys or something.
That was more so the idea. Then computers came into play and the Facebook did take over a bit.
When my children grew up, it wasn't that much on TV that they could watch that would be educational to them. Nowadays, there's all kinds of shows on TV. You get 3- and 4-year-olds playing with cell phones and computers. Definitely technology has changed the way we raise our children, yeah. Whether it's for the good, it probably is in the long run, yeah.
Well, what age did you start? Did your parents let you go on Facebook, or was this something you just started doing on your own?
You were technically supposed to be 13 or 14 to have Facebook, and I know for a fact mine says I'm 2 years older than I really am, because I definitely got it a little early. I don't think I ever asked my parents. I think it was just one of those things. I have a computer, I'm gonna get Facebook. Do your children have Facebook? The older one, at least?
The oldest one doesn't, and I wanted to be by the book and say, no, you can't, you're too young. And then so he went to the library and got an account. So it's like, okay, well now that's out of my control because he can just go to the library and be on Facebook, and I have no control over that. So by him taking his own incentive there, we ended up allowing it in the house. But I do have access to his password, and I said if he ever changes his password, he won't have access to Facebook in the house. I'll just take it off, right? But I can go in there and see what friends are saying and see who his friends are, and if I wonder about some friends, you know, like, oh, why is this 40-year-old person your friend and from Toronto? You know, we have these conversations about why would he want to be your friend? You know, because you play games in common, you got friends your age, so let's just take him off, and we sort of do that together.
Do you find that he's got a lot of peer pressure from his friends right now? And if so, in what areas besides, obviously he wanted a Facebook account, but does he have peer pressure in other areas?
I don't have a...
Does he talk about his friends drinking or smoking or doing drugs?
No, I have those conversations. I ask, you know, are anybody doing drugs? Anybody have a girlfriend? You know, because they're sort of at that age. Some of the kids in grade have girlfriends and some don't. And I sort of ask them what his friends are up to and stuff. And we haven't faced any of that yet.